Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're passionate about cryptocurrency, blockchain innovation, and the latest updates from the digital asset market, then you've come to the right place. On this channel, we break down the biggest developments in crypto, explain what they mean for investors, and help you stay informed with clear and detailed analysis. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at Cardano, its native cryptocurrency ADA, and the recent price movement that has attracted significant attention across the crypto community. We'll discuss the key reasons behind ADA's latest rally, explore the impact of the upcoming Van Rossem hard fork, examine recent governance and decentralization developments, analyze derivatives data and market positioning, and explain what these changes could mean for Cardano's future. Before we begin, please remember that this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always conduct your own research before making any investment decisions. Now, let's dive into today's analysis. Cardano's native cryptocurrency, ADA, has recently recorded an impressive move of approximately 4.9%, outperforming much of the broader cryptocurrency market. While many digital assets experienced only modest gains during the same period, ADA managed to attract additional buying interest thanks to several important developments that are taking place simultaneously. Rather than being driven by speculation alone, this latest price movement appears to be supported by a combination of upcoming network upgrades, improving investor sentiment, evolving governance reforms, derivatives market positioning, and technical trading factors. Together, these elements have created a strong narrative that has encouraged traders and long-term investors to pay much closer attention to Cardano over the past several days. One of the biggest catalysts behind ADA's recent upward movement is undoubtedly the highly anticipated Van Rossem hard fork. This major network upgrade is scheduled to activate on July 18th at exactly 21:44 UTC, making it one of the most closely watched events in the Cardano ecosystem this year. Hard forks are often considered important milestones because they introduce meaningful improvements to a blockchain's functionality, efficiency, and long-term scalability. In the case of Cardano, the Van Rossem hard fork is expected to deliver several technical enhancements designed to strengthen the network while laying the foundation for future innovations. Among the most significant improvements included in this upgrade is the introduction of new Plutus built-in functions. These enhancements are specifically designed to reduce the execution costs associated with smart contracts running on the Cardano blockchain. Lower execution costs can make decentralized applications more affordable to operate while improving efficiency for developers building on the network. This is an important step because reduced transaction expenses often encourage greater developer activity, attract more decentralized applications, and improve the overall competitiveness of the blockchain against rival smart contracts. Beyond reducing smart contract costs, the Van Rossem hard fork also prepares Cardano for its next major evolution through the Leios scaling roadmap. Leios represents one of Cardano's long-term scaling initiatives, aiming to significantly increase transaction throughput while maintaining the network's security and decentralization. As blockchain adoption continues to expand globally, scalability has become one of the most important competitive factors within the cryptocurrency industry. By implementing upgrades that prepare the network for Leios, Cardano demonstrates its commitment to supporting future growth without compromising the principles that have defined the project since its launch. Because of these upcoming improvements, traders have been positioning themselves well before the hard fork officially goes live. This has created noticeable activity within Cardano's derivatives market, where futures and perpetual contracts often provide valuable insight into investor expectations. Recent derivatives data shows that open interest has increased substantially ahead of the network upgrade, indicating that more capital has entered the market as traders speculate on ADA's potential price direction. Interestingly, market positioning has shifted dramatically over a relatively short period. Earlier reports suggested that bearish traders held a significant advantage, with the long-to-short ratio sitting near 0.58. This indicated that more investors were betting on lower prices than higher ones. However, more recent derivatives data tells a very different story. The long-to-short ratio has now climbed to approximately 2.84, suggesting that bullish traders currently outnumber bearish traders by a considerable margin. Such a dramatic reversal often reflects growing confidence surrounding a major upcoming event and indicates that many market participants expect the network upgrade to have a positive impact on ADA's price performance. Another important factor influencing recent price action involves liquidation levels across the derivatives market. Analysts have identified dense clusters of liquidation liquidity between approximately 160 and 0.167, with an even larger concentration located near the $0.167 level. These liquidation zones are extremely important because they often become magnets for short-term price movements. When prices approach heavily concentrated liquidation levels, relatively small buying or selling pressure can trigger automated liquidations that amplify market volatility. This creates the potential for rapid price movements as leveraged positions are forced to close automatically. Over the past 24 hours, ADA traded within a range of roughly $0.59 to approximately $0.166, representing a daily gain of around 4.5%. During the same period, Cardano maintained a market capitalization exceeding $6 billion, reinforcing its position among the largest cryptocurrencies in the digital asset market. Interestingly, this recent price movement aligns almost perfectly with the technical zones highlighted by analysts before the hard fork. As ADA entered the critical range between 0.160 and 0.167, buying pressure increased precisely where multiple technical resistance levels and large liquidation clusters had already been identified. This alignment between technical analysis and actual market behavior helps explain why ADA's percentage gain exceeded the performance of many other cryptocurrencies during the same trading session. When a highly anticipated network upgrade coincides with favorable technical conditions and significant derivatives positioning, even modest increases in buying demand can produce relatively strong percentage gains. In other words, the combination of fundamental developments and technical market structure created an environment where positive momentum could build much more quickly than usual. Another important aspect worth considering is trader psychology. Cryptocurrency markets often react not only to completed upgrades, but also to the anticipation of those events. Investors frequently accumulate positions ahead of major protocol improvements in expectation of increased adoption, stronger ecosystem growth, or improved investor confidence following successful implementation. This phenomenon, often referred to as buying the anticipation, appears to be playing an important role in Cardano's latest rally. As excitement surrounding the Van Rossem hard fork continues to build, traders remain focused on whether the network upgrade will meet expectations and whether additional buying momentum could emerge after activation. Historically, some blockchain upgrades have triggered further rallies following successful implementation, while others have experienced temporary profit-taking as investors sell after the anticipated event concludes. Because of this uncertainty, many traders continue to monitor Cardano's technical levels, derivatives positioning, and overall market sentiment very closely. While the upcoming Van Rossem hard fork is receiving most of the attention, it is not the only major development influencing Cardano's recent price performance. At the same time that investors are preparing for one of the network's most significant protocol upgrades, Cardano is also undergoing an important transformation in the way its ecosystem is developed and governed. This broader structural change represents a long-term milestone that could reshape how the blockchain evolves over the coming years and further strengthen its reputation as one of the most decentralized blockchain networks in the cryptocurrency industry. On July 17th, Cardano's founding development company, Input Output, commonly known as IO, announced a major transition involving the project's core infrastructure. According to the announcement, IO will begin transferring responsibility for several of Cardano's most important technologies to independent specialist development teams. This transition is scheduled to begin in August and will continue gradually throughout 2027, allowing sufficient time for each component to move smoothly into community stewardship without disrupting the stability or security of the network. The list of technologies included in this transition highlights just how significant this decision really is. Core infrastructure such as the Haskell node, the Plutus smart contract platform, the Daedalus wallet, and the Hydra scaling solution will gradually move away from direct management by input-output. Instead of relying on a single founding organization to oversee these critical technologies, Cardano is taking another major step toward becoming a blockchain that is maintained by multiple independent organizations working together under community governance. Several experienced development companies are expected to play important roles during this transition. Organizations including 7 Labs and Terragon have been identified as future stewards responsible for maintaining and improving various components of the Cardano ecosystem. Rather than depending on only one software implementation, Cardano plans to support at least 3 independent node implementations written in Haskell, Rust, and Go. Each implementation will be maintained independently while remaining fully compatible with the Cardano protocol. This multi-implementation strategy is considered an important achievement within blockchain development because it improves resilience, reduces dependence on any single codebase, and minimizes the risks associated with software bugs or development bottlenecks. If one implementation encounters technical issues, alternative implementations can continue supporting the network, improving both reliability and long-term sustainability. This approach has been successfully adopted by several mature blockchain ecosystems and is widely viewed as an important characteristic of decentralized infrastructure. Oversight of these independent development efforts will also be coordinated through community-focused organizations such as Intersect and Pragma. Rather than having one company make all technical decisions, these organizations will help coordinate collaboration among different development teams while ensuring that improvements continue to follow the wishes of the broader Cardano community. This governance model reflects one of the project's original goals of creating a blockchain that belongs to its users rather than any single corporation or founder. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson has described this transition as the final stage of the Voltaire era, one of the most important phases in Cardano's long-term roadmap. According to Hoskinson, the objective is to achieve complete decentralization not only at the protocol level, but also throughout governance, software development, and engineering. His vision can be summarized by the phrase, "built by many, owned by all." This philosophy emphasizes that the future of Cardano should be shaped collectively by its global community instead of remaining under the control of its original creators. Although many supporters have welcomed this announcement, industry observers also acknowledge that Cardano still faces significant challenges. Reports discussing the transition note that ADA remains well below its historical all-time high, and that network activity has not yet reached the levels seen during previous market cycles. Despite these realities, many analysts believe that this restructuring represents a necessary step toward creating a healthier, more sustainable ecosystem capable of supporting long-term growth rather than relying solely on short-term market excitement. The decentralization story has also gained considerable attention across social media platforms, where influential cryptocurrency commentators have highlighted the importance of these changes. Popular industry accounts, including Coin Bureau, have emphasized that Cardano is actively reducing its dependence on its founding organization by handing key infrastructure responsibilities to external specialist teams. This message has been widely shared throughout the cryptocurrency community, helping strengthen the narrative that Cardano is entering a completely new stage of development. Market participants often respond positively when blockchain projects introduce credible decentralization initiatives. One of the most common criticisms directed at many cryptocurrency projects is that too much control remains concentrated within a small group of developers or a single organization. By expanding responsibility across multiple independent teams, Cardano directly addresses one of the industry's most important concerns. Investors frequently interpret these kinds of structural improvements as evidence that a blockchain is becoming more resilient, transparent, and capable of surviving over the long term. The timing of these governance changes is particularly interesting because they arrive just as the Van Rossem hard fork approaches. Together, these developments create two separate but complementary narratives. On one hand, traders have an immediate technical catalyst in the form of the upcoming network upgrade. On the other hand, long-term investors are evaluating Cardano's broader transformation toward a fully decentralized development model. The combination of a short-term catalyst and a compelling long-term vision can often create stronger investor confidence than either development could generate on its own. Beyond the project-specific news, broader market conditions also help explain why ADA managed to outperform many other cryptocurrencies. During the same 24-hour period, the overall cryptocurrency market remained relatively calm. Total cryptocurrency market capitalization increased by only around 1.1%, indicating a generally positive but far from explosive trading environment. At the same time, overall cryptocurrency trading volume actually declined by nearly 20%, suggesting that widespread speculative activity remained relatively limited. The altcoin market presented an even quieter picture, with overall market capitalization remaining largely unchanged. Against this backdrop, Cardano's approximately 4.5% daily gain stands out as a clear example of relative outperformance. Rather than benefiting from a massive market-wide rally affecting nearly every digital asset, ADA appears to have been supported primarily by project-specific developments that attracted investor attention independently of the broader cryptocurrency market. This distinction is important because rallies driven by unique project catalysts are often viewed differently from rallies caused by overall market optimism. When an individual cryptocurrency significantly outperforms the rest of the market, analysts frequently look for specific developments capable of explaining the difference. In Cardano's case, the combination of the Van Rossem hard fork, expanding decentralization, improving governance, favorable derivatives positioning, and technical market conditions provides a logical explanation for why ADA managed to outperform during an otherwise relatively quiet trading session. Looking ahead, investors will continue monitoring several important factors. The successful activation of the Van Rossem hard fork will likely remain the primary short-term focus, while progress toward the Leios scaling roadmap and the gradual transfer of development responsibilities will shape longer-term sentiment. Traders will also watch derivatives markets closely to determine whether bullish positioning continues increasing or whether profit-taking emerges following the completion of the upgrade. Ultimately, Cardano finds itself at a particularly important moment in its development. The project is simultaneously implementing meaningful technical improvements, advancing toward greater decentralization, expanding community governance, and preparing for future scalability upgrades. While short-term price volatility should always be expected within cryptocurrency markets, these developments collectively suggest that Cardano continues building the infrastructure necessary to compete in the next generation of blockchain technology. Whether ADA can maintain its recent momentum will depend on successful execution, continued ecosystem growth, and broader market conditions. But for now, the combination of strong technical progress and renewed investor optimism has clearly placed Cardano back in the spotlight. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this detailed Cardano analysis and found it helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest cryptocurrency news, blockchain updates, market analysis, and investment insights. We truly appreciate your support, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Van Rossem hard fork and Cardano's decentralization efforts will drive ADA even higher in the coming months? Share your opinion, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.